Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Matt from the Sim Racers Arms, and today we're going to be talking about Automobilista 2 and its force feedback, which I find is really detailed and one of the best force feedback. Now, I'm not talking about the handling or the tyre model, I'm talking about force feedback. And with the latest updates to Automobilista 2 and the announcement that the physics aren't going to change very much over the coming months, I thought it'd be a good time to look at the force feedback and the settings that I run. And I'm a particular fan of very detailed force feedback, so I'm going to show you in today's video my settings. Not necessarily the settings that are perfect for everybody, all depends on your equipment. I'm running a CSL DD, and over the last 6 months I've tuned my force feedback in Automobilista 2 to the point it's at now, which I'm more than happy with, and it fits my driving style. It might not be the flavour of force feedback for everybody, but it's certainly worth a try. And for those who aren't on a Fanatec CSL DD, it's probably worth sticking around because there might be some useful little tips in the video as we go along that you may find is applicable to your particular wheelbase, and the settings may suit you also. We'll jump across to Automobilista 2 and we will cover the settings within Automobilista 2, but also the Fanatec control panel settings. So we'll go into our options, controls, force feedback. I run the default plus force feedback file, as I found the updates earlier in 2022 made an improvement to that particular file. However, I found that there was a bit of a pendulum feel to some of the cars that I wasn't overly keen on, so I've tweaked, like I say, over the last 6 months, all of these settings. You can see my settings there, so I've got a gain of 70%, and I also changed the gain per vehicle in the game, depending what car I'm in. The low force boost just lifts up some of the detail when you're going in a straight line, and I've settled on 10. The FX I've lifted up to 35 just to boost some of those, and also the damping's up to 40. Now these three tend to deliver the detail, gain delivers the overall strength. Menu spring strength is exactly what it says, it's how quickly the wheel returns to centre in the menus. Don't try it on 100, especially if you've got a strong direct drive wheel. We also need to have a look at the Fanatec control panel settings, so we'll do that now. Here we are in the Fanatec control panel settings. You can see in the tuning menu we've got our presets. My setup 2 is for Automobilista 2, and we've got our steering angle. As you would expect, set that as you see fit for each car that you're in. Overall force feedback strength I have at 100, and then I dial it down within game. Some people prefer to do it the other way. This is the way I do it. I'm not saying it's the perfect way, but it's the way I do it. We've got the force feedback scaling at peak, natural damper at 30%, natural friction at 5%, natural inertia off. I nearly couldn't say that. Interpolation 1, force effect intensity 100, effect strength 100%, spring effect strength 100, damper effect strength 100. Those are my Fanatec control panel settings. I also recommend that you check out Sim Racing 604. Mike has done a great video that goes through every single setting on here, starting from a clean slate and adjusting each one bit by bit until you can dial it in. It does take time. I'm suggesting you try this as a starting point and then maybe look at his video if you want to understand which one to tweak to get different effects. There's my force feedback settings for Automobilista 2 for halfway through 2022. Give them a try, tweak as you feel fit. Let me know in the comments down below if you tweak anything and you find that it's more detailed or the balance is slightly better for you. I'd love to hear what settings you change, and I'd love to give them a go to see if I prefer your settings. For some really good cockpit camera settings, I highly recommend you watch this video next. Until the next video, thanks for joining me.